As violence and crime soar across the nation, we're seeing retail stores shut down to keep customers and employees safe. This as we look back at a couple years, 2 years about, filled with calls to defund the police and also so much demoralizing rhetoric, targeting those working to protect us. For more on this, let's welcome in former New York Congressman, retired FBI agent, and Newsmax contributor, Michael Grimm. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Katrina. It's nice to see you this morning.
Thanks for being with us. Let's just dive right into this. I mean, we all know that we're having a crime wave. It continues. Retail crime has spiked in the last year, smash and grabs and more. We have stores willing to shut down, others locking up everyday items because of this. I know even here in New York City, I will go to a regular, Duane Reade or a CVS. Everything is locked behind glass. You have to get someone to even help you get some basic cold medicine. And also we're hearing Starbucks closing over 16 stores based on safety concerns, also Walgreens, 7-Elevens. Talk to us about this unfortunate reality.
Well, I think you said it very, very well. We've had almost 2 years of demonizing our police force, demoralizing them, and empowering criminals and homeless. And this is just the reality that now what's ironic and unfortunate is that the Democrats and the liberals that put these policies in place that created an environment that's completely unsafe. It's untenable for the workers. It's untenable for the ownership. And now these neighborhoods that the Democrats and liberals said that they cared about the most of these are closing in areas that are already underserved. They're in minority communities. And this is what you're going to see continue to happen. You just mentioned it before. You go into a CVS, I couldn't get toothpaste. It was locked up. Toothpaste was locked up. That tells you something. I have a friend that owns several restaurants. He's a franchisee of a major restaurant company. And he was explaining right here in New York that he has homeless people that come in, they go to sleep in the area where you're supposed to be eating. They obviously haven't bathed in days and so on, and they refuse to leave, and police will not address it. You have to call 311, and they say within 48 hours, listen to this, 48 hours, they're going to send a counselor or someone to deal with it. In that entire time, they have to close that entire area to eat. So no one can come in and eat their food. They can only do to go. This is just one example. Some of those people that stay there and sleep there become violent, become agitated, start throwing things and screaming. There's no way anyone's going to go into that restaurant while that's happening. So it's dangerous for the employees. It's dangerous for any possible patrons. And it's absolutely impossible for anyone to run a business this way. So they're shutting down. It's just that simple.
Yeah, Michael, it's so sad because there's always crime, unfortunately. However, in larger cities, especially New York City, we're a little New York City centric here, of course, but crime wasn't as bad. New York City was safe, but as we're seeing the soft on crime policies, both here in New York City and of course on the West Coast and in the other big cities, Chicago and beyond throughout the country, crime is getting out of control. My question is, we know that crime can be controlled, so how is it going to be reeled back in, and can it be?
Well, yes, and it's nowhere near as difficult as liberals want you to think. Listen, if you want to use New York City as the perfect example, New York City, in my lifetime, had more than 2,000 murders. We were the murder capital of the country. Now it's Chicago, okay, with the shootings and murders that are happening every single weekend in Chicago. And you can go to LA as well. It's every major city. By the way, what's the similarity? Where's your common denominator? It's that they're all large, liberal, Democrat-run cities. How do you change this? I'll say one name, Rudy Giuliani. Commissioner Bernie Kerik. These guys came in, and what did they do? They just simply implemented stronger policies. The problem now, though, is you had advocates that are not only in the prosecutor's office, they're also judges. These people are getting rid of our bail. They're putting them right back out on the street. So there is no cop that has a brain in their head that's going to risk all the false claims that they were, too harsh, that they used excessive force, so on and so forth. They're afraid they're going to be prosecuted, only to find out that the criminal that they pick up today is out on the street tomorrow morning. That's the bigger part of the problem here, is that no cop's going to do their job as long as the policies say we're going to put them right back out on the street.
All right,
That's the big problem.
Michael Grimm. Sorry to cut you off. They're out of time, but you have a great op-ed on Newsmax.com, so I recommend everyone check it out. Plenty more ahead. You're watching Wake Up America Weekend only on Newsmax.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.